if you're a founder of any startup, you are the CFO, you are the chief sales officer, you're going to be occupying a lot of offices. If you take a look at the markets where we are moving forward to, 36.1% at $196 billion for AI, over $1.2 trillion for the civil service markets as well too.
So what are you looking for in terms of an initial pre-seed investment for Inject?
Hi everyone, I'm Haiti, sitting next to me.
And I'm Shaq. And this is our first time ever having a sit down together. So
Right.
We just want to kind of invite you in on our conversation, some of the things that we talk about, especially when it comes to building the product that we're building.
Right.
And so these are what our talks are going to center around, just that project and our journey.
Right.
So,
Okay, so how many questions do you have for me today?
just a few questions. I'm pretty sure that everyone would be anxious to know some answers about and how you feel about them. So,
Right.
and it's important, especially you being the CEO.
Oh,
So chat with the CEO.
right.
Okay. All right. So you ready for me to fire the first question at you?
Right.
All right. So what are you looking for in terms of an initial pre-seed investment for Inject?
Right. Okay. So, for the initial pre-seed investment for Inject for the products we're working on, we are looking for to about $112,500 for 5% equity shares for potential investors that's going to be coming on board.
Mm-hmm.
And we did this valuation considering that we're actually at pre-revenue stage and pre-products. So we use these frameworks called risk summation method. I mean, there are other frameworks you could actually use. Even prior to that, I use Becker's method. You've forgotten if you're a founder of any startup, you are the CFO, you are the chief sales officer, you're going to be occupying a lot of offices, you understand, and you need to be able to learn a lot. So I adopted Becker's method. That was the first initial framework we used. Then I felt it's not it's so limited with some of the key considerations we need to put as part of the major factors. But looking at it from the risk summation frameworks, where it has 12 distinctive risks you need to actually jot down, it's going to give you a deep thought about some of the risks your startups could actually be facing, you understand? So we did a risk summation frameworks method and identified 12 distinctive risks that startups can actually be poised for. So we did evaluation and we valued it about over $2 million currently at pre-revenue, pre-products, you understand? And that's why we came up with a 5% and $112,500 for potential investors that want to invest on our products Inject.
Okay. All right. So when you say 112,500,
Yeah.
okay, would you say that you see that as the potential value for Inject as it stands right now at no revenue?
Yeah, if you take a look at the markets where we are moving forward to, the civil service sector and the AI sector, considering the cargo rates, those are actually some of the key considerations if we are using the risk submission method frameworks. 36.1% at $196 billion for AI market size industry, as well as over $1.2 trillion for the civil service markets as well too. I mean, this is just a framework for us to be able to value ourselves, depending on the potential, the scalability of the future, potential of the products we are going to be working on. But nevertheless, you could, like I said, there's different frameworks. You can even do future value method to actually value your startups. But this is the best frameworks for us to be able to give us a deep thoughts and actually look at it analytically with some of the key potentials and key risks startups can actually pose. It's a potential that and I believe it's an opportunity for any investors that want to come around. And I've seen some of the great things we're going to be building with civil service and AI.
Very good idea, like that. So, as viewers watch you, even responding to the first question, what takeaway can they gather? I mean, if they are themselves starting off in the business and there's no funding, but they're looking for funding from investors, what's the biggest takeaway?
I mean, there are different investors out there, you understand, considering us as well. We are currently fundraising, right? The big thing for you as a founder is for you to be able to have skin in the game. And that's some of the key consideration. Any investors is trying to invest in whatsoever you are building. They look at it and analytically they see some of the things we are doing. And, I'll just say this, most startups just want to come up, or they have an idea, they just want to move forward with the idea, and or they want investors to come on board and just fund your idea. But one of the key things you need to put into consideration is you need to be able to start off first. And the more you actually gain traction, the more you're able to move forward with some of the ideas. You gain reasonable traction, you validate your ideas, the more potential you are actually gonna get an investors for some of the things you are building. And come to think of it, raising funds is not it's not mandatory for every startups, you know that, right?
Yeah.
So it's not look at Telegram, even look at Microsoft. Majority of big companies right now, they actually bootstrap. But if you're actually at this stage and you feel like you need enough advisors, you need enough expertise, you need enough resources and funding for you to be able to scale and rapidly iterate with your startups, I believe you need to fundraise. You understand? Fundraising is not for every startup. You need to take a look at it. Do you need to fundraise currently? You need to look at the environment. You need to look at several things you need to put into consideration. And every stage point you're fundraising, your key goals and the reason why you're fundraising must be clear, right? And it must be, you must actually set a reasonable goal while you are fundraising.
That's very good. And so even when, not to stick to this question, because I still have a couple more questions to ask you, but even when you're fundraising and you're not making revenue, I think one of the biggest takeaways that I want to just kind of add to that is that there's value in the work that you do.
You're right.
So it's a way of assessing where you are at that point in time with your business. So I don't think anyone should devalue the time that they've put into it. So that's just one way of assessing an amount that's fair to the work that you put in, and also fair to potential investor that's looking to invest. So let's move to the third question. So what makes Inject attractive for investment funding?
Right. Okay, so I mean, this is just a conversation, and looking at Inject, for example, and I could go back to Bib Gross that actually did some analysis with more than, I think, 100 startups or thereabouts. And he put some key consideration in why reasons startups fail. I know you actually posted an article on LinkedIn. There's some of the first article we ever pushed out on our page. One of the key consideration we put in stake, aside the fact that we have a valuable team, right? We have a great team. We have a CTO that have experience building products from ideation, even building a MVP and raising about $20 million funding or thereabouts. You understand? And we've actually worked together to build some products and services, other entrepreneurs, and bring the ideas back to life with MVP, considering those key things into consideration, and your experience, about 20 years of experience in operational management, you understand? Looking at it from the team perspective, and we need to be able to look at it from the timing of the product perspective, which is one of the number one reason why startup fails, is market readiness of your products. Is the market ready for the products? If you look at it from some of the research we've done, and looking at it from the timing of the US general election, we know that for sure about 50 countries are conducting elections worldwide, and about 2 billion people are going to the polls this year. The perfect timing of the product is literally aligned for the products we are building, you understand? And also, looking at it from that perspective, I felt like it's it's a catalyst for us to be able to get a proper product market fit with what we are building. Looking at the timing of the election, the UK just concluded their elections about 2 weeks ago. Then the US general election, which is happens to be our beachhead market, is coming by November. So the market readiness, looking at it from the swing states and every other things that's happening in the democratic spectrum, we feel like it's going to be worthwhile for us to be able to have a great product market fit, you understand, and for us to be able to launch the product as well too. So, and if we could actually talk more on that, we could look at the type of solution Inject is working on. It's around understanding the democratic process and how it works, you understand. A lot of transparency and accountability and verifiable information, and have the right tools that is going to equip citizens with the right choice of their candidates, and understanding how the democratic process is being worked. Not only during the time of election, but it's imperative for us to be able to look at it from that perspective and going forward, even aftermath, you understand. We did some recent observational research, and we realized that a lot of people, some of the campaign funds that has been spent or have been donated to every political leaders or candidates, we realized that a lot of people doesn't even know how the funds was being spent, even though they can be, I mean, it's not conventional. You have to go out there and do some research. But if you look at this conventional approach where it says all littered or everywhere, it's open source, stuff like that, you know, those information needs to be demisable and needs to be accessible in an easy way that you can easily see it at any point in time. So, I mean, it's really a potential products of solve the solutions with the solutions we're working on.
Very good. Last question. How do you think that we can maintain this attractiveness over time with Inject?
Okay, so I think some of the key things we need to put into consideration with the solution we are working on is to make sure that we need to make sure the product itself is reliable. You understand? So as much as it's reliable and is the most reliable source of platforms, right? We believe we can actually sustain the products in the long run, right? So some of the things we need to actually put into consideration going forward with some of the technologies and some of the implementations we are going to be putting forward on our products is to make sure that it's reliable, right? Some of the sources is verifiable, it's clear. Do you know what I'm saying? So in other words, it's going to be an hub for a universal source for democracy going forward.
Would you also say that partnerships would play a key aspect too?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, in order for you to have a reliable source of platform, you need to foster strong partnerships and you need to have strong supports. You know, with the frameworks in which Inject is actually move forward, we want to move forward with building communities. Then we need to foster strong partnerships with different organizations. It could be from ministry, different agencies, and maybe CSOs, or CBOs, or FBOs, or we need to be able to foster such partnership for us to be able to build something really strong. Without partnership, there is nothing you can actually build. But what we're gonna do in our own is just to make sure that we're able to build a strong system whereby some of the information that is going to be being portrayed on the platform is verifiable. Do you understand? So it's reliable and people can actually see some of the things we are building and the value of what we are building.
All right. Well, very good, AD. So I look forward to our next conversation where we actually get into talking about what Inject is,
right,
and how it will benefit you.
I'm gonna have a conversation with you where I'm gonna be the one asking you a question. I think I would like that.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. And
right. See you all the time.
see you next time.